Hi, I'm Suzanne McNeill with Design Originals, and today I want to show you a technique that I've been teaching all over the country. So this is called Zentangle, and I'm going to get started just so you can see what's going on, and then I'll tell you a little bit about Zentangle. So here are a few finished projects. It's a beautiful drawing process, but so relaxing, almost meditative. So the basic concept is that I have a little piece of paper, a nice paper tile, and I'm going to put my anchor dots in each corner, and then I'm going to simply connect those dots. With Zentangle, you don't need a ruler or eraser because there are no straight lines and nothing to erase when you get to the finish. So then I'm going to make what's called a string. This can be almost any shape, but basically I'm just dividing that space into sections. And then in each, I might just add one over here for fun. You can see it's not an exact science. So now I'm going to start filling in the tangles. And the first one I'm going to do, if you look here, you see each section has a different tangle in it. So the first one I'm going to do, I'm going to just walk around the edges of this section with my Micron Black 01 pen. This is the best pen to start with. And as long as I'm doing artwork, I always like to use the best materials because I don't want my black to fade to brown like some brands do. So now I'm walking around it again to make little moon shapes. Very simple process. Zentangle itself was developed by Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas. And Rick was actually a monk in India for 17 years. Hence the name Zen. He's very interested in meditation, relaxation, calmness. So he helped name the Zentangle. Maria is actually a famous calligrapher. And she even did Catherine Zeta-Jones' wedding invitations all by hand. But one day Maria was in her studio and she was doing what's called illuminating an alphabet letter, which means drawing little patterns all around the alphabet letter, sort of like in the old Bibles. And it was time for lunch, so Rick went in and was, Maria? She was like, oh, were you talking to me? He's like, yes, that's interesting. You are almost in a meditative Zen trance. And so they ate lunch, and they were talking about it later, and Rick said, well, that was so interesting. You know, maybe other people would like to learn to relax and reduce the stress in their lives at the same time that they're creating something beautiful. So they started developing the process of Zentangle. So now, as you can see, I'm just going around and coloring in those spaces. And you might wonder, well, where do I get all these patterns? Well, of course, I could make them up, and I do that, but here are a couple books that might aid you. Like here's the pattern I'm doing now, and here are some more patterns. I might show you some of these. You can see how many different items you can actually do with Zentangle, even t-shirts and shoes, little journals, and in each one of these books there is an index at the back that shows all the tangles that are in this particular book. So the basics is a good one to start with, and then number 2, or just keep going. There's different ones in each one. So now I'm just going to show you a few more tangles, maybe in a little faster motion. This one's sort of a grid, and then I'll start filling different shapes in. So I'd just like for you to just relax and sort of watch me do a few of these patterns. So I think you get the idea of how simple this is. And let me just show you a couple other pieces. I've started these. These are actually postcards that I'm going to send to my friends. So this was so interesting to do. And then here's another one, and I've started coloring this one in. So Zentangle has so many variations. You'll want to check out my long DVD of Zentangle in watercolor also.